Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified Doctor of Naturopathy, Dr. Stephen Cabral, shares with you exactly how you can reverse aging, take back your health, and live a life full of energy and passion, with new 20-minute episodes every single day to keep you healthy and engaged. Now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
All right, everyone, we are back. It's a brand new week. Always excited to start the week off with our Mindset and Motivation Monday. And although the goal is to absolutely motivate, to inspire you, it is not just a temporary inspiration that I think any of us are looking for. The goal is to be able to say, what can I do on a daily basis in order to be consistent with achieving my goals? Because whatever your goals are, they're unique to you. That's why I never set a goal based on what anybody else wants for you in your life. Set a goal that has meaning to you, that has a big enough why that you can see it through when there are obstacles, when there are challenging times in your life, but also one that will want you to wake up every day and work just a little bit more towards it. No one day is ever going to make or break you. Just remember that. So be careful with the highs and the absolute lows of life. The lows are pretty challenging, but it's all about saying, okay, that was one day. Let me get back at it tomorrow. And same with the highs. Ride the high for as long as you can, no doubt about it, but just understand that there are ebbs and flows to life. And today what I wanted to discuss was this beautiful quote that I heard. And I wish, again, that I could attribute it to exactly who said it first. But it went like this: before you win, keep from losing. And I love that quote. Before you win, keep from losing. What does that mean? It means that so much of the time we're reading the books, we're taking the courses, we're hiring the coaches, they're giving us awe-inspiring plans. We know the next steps that we need to take. We're excited about them, right? So we have the map. We know where we're headed. The problem is self-sabotage. It's all of the things that are keeping us from doing what we know we need to do consistently. Think about it. How many people do you know have tried a new exercise program, have tried a new diet, have tried a new career, whatever it might be, a new relationship, right? A new spiritual-based guru or path. And it ends a month, 2 months, 3 months maximum, most likely later. And the reason is that although they added more on to what they were doing, new ideas, new concepts, right? New actions, what they didn't do was remove some of the things that were actually keeping them from achieving that goal in the first place. So in health, I've always called it achieving your goals through more of a subtractive than additive process. The whole book, The Rain Barrel Effect, was written about not necessarily about adding more, but actually taking away. And one of the ways that I like to look at this as well as someone that really enjoys art is the subtractive process from a block of stone. When Michelangelo created the David, one of his quotes, loosely, was said to be, "The David was always there. I just had to pull it out or find it." So he chiseled away everything that wasn't the David, and the David appeared. And that's a lot of what we need to do on our own life. When we look at this, so a lot of people come to us, and I can only talk from a health perspective. I'm not a relationship guru or spiritual guru or any of those things. But what I am is someone who's met with tens of thousands of people one-on-one. And my team has met with well over 250,000 people that we've met with. So we talk with a lot of people. It's what we do for our work. And I see people want to achieve the same things, but it's sometimes self-sabotage in unique ways, in different ways. That's why people aren't always the same in how they can achieve their goals. For example, people want to lose weight or gain weight. Well, we have to look at it from a unique perspective. Again, it's different for individual. But I'll tell you this, most people aren't going to be able to lose weight if they're eating after dinner, snacking after dinner. It's a challenging one, right? So you can improve your meals. You can use intermittent fasting. Like all of that definitely works. I'm happy to do that and excited that for most people. You can use, let's say, other strategies as well with saying maybe, okay, I'm going to remove one of my macros. Like I'm going to go lower carb. I'm going to go this. But at the end of the day, if you are overeating, you're eating closer to bed. It does throw off blood sugar levels. It's harder to lose weight. It's just, again, that's only one tip. So before you come up with the amazing diet, maybe we start to just look at foundational based nutrition and not snacking after dinner. A simple tip that I've given clients for many, many years is after you finish dinner, give yourself a time. Like I'm allowed to eat dinner until, and I understand that every client is different. And when there's any type of disordered eating or any past issues that we want to be sensitive, we need to be sensitive there, right? But for myself, I like to say past 6 o'clock, 6:30 at the very, very latest, that's it. Not eating. Like that's the time where I start my intermittent fast, right? Now there's exceptions to every rule. I'm allowed to I give myself a flex meal every single week. And then maybe if I'm out with my family, that's a little bit later, but that's once a week. That's what I enable myself to do. And I've achieved those goals. But there's a lot of other ones that you can start to add in there. And so what I ask you is that, what are you doing right now? Instead of adding more, could you, and you know that you should be removing? Same for overall health. You can be taking the great nutritional supplements, but if you're not looking at your overall stress, if you're not improving your sleep, it's going to be challenging to achieve the mind-body results that you're looking for. Another one is relationships. Again, I'm not a relationship expert by any way, shape, or form, but I talk with a lot of people and I talk with them about their life. I talk with them about their stress. I talk with them about their relationships that can be leading to poor health. And I understand that a couple of those big concepts that continue to come up time and time again are things like not being a good communicator. So someone will express how stressed they are. And again, without being a relationship advisor, I'll say, have you ever shared this, with your spouse or with your parent or with your child or whoever it might be? And they say no. And I say, okay, does the other person know that you feel this way? And these are just questions. I'm just asking questions as a friend, as yes, a integrative health practitioner, but also as a friend. And I'm saying to them, are they aware of this? Because some people are not aware because they're living in their own head, not yours, right? So like everybody is a little bit unique in that way, is that they're in their own reality. They lived in their own reality. And they often say, well, I think so. And if you ever say you think so, or I don't know, well, the answer is probably no, or at least not to that degree. So having an open line of communication in at least safe relationships would enable you to improve the relationship if the other person wanted to have that discussion. But at least one person has to rise above and be the individual that's willing to have the conversation, that's willing to say, I'm going to listen, I'm going to keep an open mind, I want to start the dialogue, I don't want to judge, and somebody has to be the first one. And so that often comes up in relationships. And again, if you're not openly communicating first, well, you can try a lot of different strategies. Like, okay, we're going to set up a date night once a week. That's great. Nothing wrong with that. I think that's, commendable and should be done. But what about the other 6 days of the week? And what about the other 165 hours when you're not out, on a date that night? So these are all things that you want to start to look at. And most of these things, you might be saying to yourself, well, these are basic. Yes, I call them foundational. I've called them foundational now for, probably 15, 20 years, because we don't need to get fancy. I even work with my deep dive clients. I work with one new deep dive intensive client every single week. It's a 3-hour appointment. We just get down and look at everything. We're looking at previous health history. I'm spending hours before our consultation looking at their labs. We're reviewing lab results, and then we're going through their whole new plan. But even with that, yes, there's many things that they may be missing, but it's still always foundational first. I add icing on the cake. There's no doubt about that. But the truth is that everything has to be going back to, if you're not following the foundational based principles, then adding all the extras on top, you can kind of sneak your way into the results you want for a month, 2 months, 3 months, but eventually they're going to falter. So if we know they're going to falter because they're not built on a strong enough foundation, what do we need to do first? Well, it's my opinion that we need to really set that foundation, set the structure that then you can build anything you want on top of it. So if you want to exercise more, okay, are you sleeping enough? Are you eating right? Because you shouldn't be asking the question, should I exercise more, right? If you're not able to recover. Because we know all sorts of people on social media, and I love to follow them as well, and they absolutely crush their body every single day with the workout, and they're getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep. Okay, you know what? I wish them the best, and I hope that they live a long, healthy life. But the odds, well, again, we never know any of our odds, right? But the odds, you make them less in your favor. You certainly make them less in your favor when you are not sleeping, not eating your best, and over-exercising. That's a recipe for disaster and massive amounts of stress in the body. So yes, we can exercise more, but let's just make sure we're eating right and we're getting the sleep that we need to. Okay, so that's great. Now we want to look at improving our overall career. All right, we haven't talked about that. Well, in order to improve your overall career. A lot of people just say, I'm just going to look for another company to work at. Okay, but is that really the issue? Or have you not dug deep enough to say, what more could you learn and be and do at your current company while asking for potential growth and advancements if you do X, Y, and Z? Because sometimes these are lateral moves. And what I don't want you to move to is just more of the same in your life heading into next year or next quarter. Now, more of the same might be phenomenal. And if you're there, then I congratulate you. That's amazing. But for many of us, myself included, I want to know, what is that next level? How can I arrive at that? Both from a personal level, a health level, relationship, body transformation, I would say career, all of the things that I'm looking to achieve, relationships, especially with the family. So what I do is I look at these different buckets, and I'll be talking about them more. I always do an annual 12-week review, 12-week year review. But what I want you to start to do is to start to think about, okay, what are your goals? But then don't ask what more you can do. Not right now. Not what more you can do, but think of it this way. You are setting out to sail on a long voyage, and you need to make sure that ship has no leaks, has no holes. Because if you can have the best map and navigation and captain, but if you have leaks in that boat, you're not going to make it very far. And that's just what we see. And as someone who's been in the health and fitness industry for a while, every New Year's, okay, new goals, exciting time, gyms are packed. What about March? Not so much, right? It's that 6 to 8 weeks, 6 to 12 weeks maximum. You see the massive fall off. Why? Too many leaks in the boat. Too many holes. Worked on adding more, but not subtracting what wasn't working in the first place. And I know adding more is more exciting. It's always marketed to us. But what really works is subtracting the things that may have gotten us to where we are today. We don't like to think that. We don't like to think of the negative things that we may be doing, but it's okay because we all have them. And if you know that I have them and your friends have them, your family members have them, and so do you, then it makes it a little bit easier. Because now we're just trying to be a little bit more self-aware. We're trying to figure out what are the things that are preventing us from actually achieving what we want. But not only that, what are the things that are holding us back that would make things 10 times easier to become successful? So now, if we remove the things like the late night snacking or not following a nutrition protocol for most days of the week, if we're looking to transform the body, or not getting our 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day on a daily basis, just the basics. If we start to look at those, instead of adding so much more to our already busy lives, I think, in my opinion, you're going to have your absolute best year yet. Thanks so much for tuning in to another Mindset and Motivation Monday. I appreciate you. I thank you. If the show was helpful, do feel free to share it with anyone else you believe it could serve. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my health results accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com/courses.